right now. Okay, joining us now for some fun and insight is my good friend, Democratic strategist. Right now she's in Atlanta. She ran the Jack Trammell for Congress campaign, Beth Cope. She is also the owner and the author of a new blog, Politics and MORE. How do I say it again?
It's Politics and Mores. Politicsandmores.com.
And mores.com. And I had to ask Michael, my producer here, how to spell it. He's getting his message. Because if I was in Chesapeake and asking Courtney, who already has her master's degree from Syracuse, she would know how to spell it as well. Anyway, good to have you with us, Beth Cope.
It's funny. I haven't decided if Mores is a blessing or a curse because it keeps people talking about it. But perhaps the branding on Mores is leaving a little to be desired by some. But time will tell on that.
Well, it sounds like a chocolate candy bar, which isn't a bad thing.
No, doesn't
right?
it sound like a chocolate candy bar?
It does.
Yeah,
it sounds like a chocolate candy bar.
That's good branding.
And every time I have you on, I'm like, man, I want to go get a candy bar because they're kind of like, politics. Now, Beth, why don't we get to the big picture? 2016, the Hillary Clinton juggernaut. I mean, this ready for Hillary pack, and they're sending out a bajillion emails a day, and some of the activists on your side getting upset, but their idea is to have shock and awe, raise like $90 bajillion, scare everybody out, and it's almost fait accompli. It's this inexorable conclusion that Hillary is going to be the nominee. But they did this in 2008, and it really backfired. Hillary fatigue, and it's like, then she's not in any debates, no competition. I'm not getting a good feeling about this strategy. How about you?
Well, the thing is that, she met with Warren in December, and that seemed to be a sign that Warren was not going to run, and she was kind of the one that everybody was hoping for. I tell you, I hope that Hillary doesn't get to do a solo run. I think it's good for the Democratic Party if there's someone out there who will challenge her. Now there's some talk of Bernie Sanders and perhaps a couple of others. They do pale in comparison to the Clinton machine. But let's face it, and you and I have talked about this twice now, and it continues to be reported on, that some of the liberal Democrats are worried about her hawkishness and also about her coziness with Wall Street.
Well, I think that's an issue. That's why I thought, Beth, that if Elizabeth Warren decided to get in the race, she's got a populist message. A lot of what she says is true, and she was very opposed to Crown the bus for this, derivator bank bailout that's coming down the pike. I thought she had a message, but I don't see any indication at all that Liz Warren will run.
I think that, honestly, we need to keep Elizabeth Warren where she is because I really like the idea of her having that bully pulpit against Wall Street, and there's no one else out there doing it. We need her. It would be like REM making it. It's exactly like how REM made it big after I spent my entire youth watching them in dive bars. I don't want her to do that and blow out, sell out too early. I think we need her where she is.
Now, she's ahead in all the polling right now, so maybe she's going to get a challenge from a Bernie Sanders or something, but nobody's going to take that seriously. So let's play this out. So Hillary Clinton, she announces it's shock and awe. She raises, $50 billion, and everybody's on her team, and she's hired all the top minds, and you might be on her staff as well. If she's smart, she'd hire you also. So she's got this juggernaut, basically, this total army. She has no competition. She's almost running like the incumbent. Republicans, on the other hand, there's going to be 19 candidates vying for this. There's going to be a debate every 3 days.
And the problem with the Republicans is that for those 19 candidates to get out, they're all going to have to pander to the lowest common denominator. They're going to be, the questions about evolution and, silly things that the rest of the world looks at us and just says, oh my gosh, what the heck's going on over in the United States? And those are the kind of scenarios that make our country a laughing stock, regardless of if you're a Democrat or a Republican. You don't want to see our political system disintegrate to that. I mean, if the Republicans were smart, they would just rally around Jeb Bush or someone of his ilk in the 19 who is capable of raising a lot of money.
Okay, well, I really appreciate your opinion on Republican politics, Beth. I really do. But Jeb Bush is the last candidate that I want as a Republican nominee.
I'm speaking of strategy alone, not what I wish would happen. I mean, I really do wish that there would be it's always good for politics in general when we pick the best and the brightest of what we have to offer. And the scenario between Clinton and Bush, it's concerning because it points to dynasty-driven politics in the United States, and I personally don't think that that's what our country is about, and I wish it were different. But if we're strictly speaking about strategy and winning, the Republicans need to unify behind someone quickly who can finance a campaign in order to win in 2016.
I think so, and then, there's going to be the argument of some candidates as who is the best candidate to defeat Hillary Clinton. I remember if you go back to 1980, and I know, Beth, that was before you were born, but if you go back to...
Oh, come on. It is not before I was born.
You go back to 1980, and I don't even want to tell you how old I am, but I was active back then. If you go back to 1980, John Connally ran for president, former Texas governor, and was a Democrat turned Republican in 1978, I think. And so he runs for president challenging Reagan, raised a lot of money, and he ran for president based on one thing. He said, I believe Ted Kennedy is going to be the nominee, and I'm the only person that can beat Ted Kennedy. Well, Kennedy was not the nominee, and he spent like $10 million, and he got one delegate, and that was the end of it. Beth, I'm going to run through top-tier Republican candidates. Give me like a couple sentences each. Your thoughts, perspective, made for TV time. Okay, so we have to keep it PG.
I'll do my best. You should give me a list of words that I can't say on the radio before I come on your show.
The same things you wouldn't say in front of any 12-year-old. Okay, go ahead. Scott Walker.
Scott Walker? Leaders don't punt to global press.
Ooh, very good. Jeb Bush.
Oh, let's see. Dynasty-driven candidates don't work.
Marco Rubio.
Get that man a glass of water.
Chris Christie.
Oh, well, let's just see what happens with his next investigation before we get our hopes up too much.
Bobby Jindal.
Oh, my. There's so many places to go with that one, but Bobby Jindal needs to get his house straight in Louisiana before we can trust him to do something for the United States.
The cardboard caricature cutout of Dr. Ben Carson.
Better than the real thing.
That's very good, Beth. Okay, so far you're on a roll. Okay, Rand Paul.
Oh, gosh, I just read something about him. Oh, not likely to even win his own state. Real sad.
Sad state of affairs, no doubt. Okay, Lindsey Graham.
Oh, God, there's so many ugly places to go there. Well, if you want Washington D.C. run like a Southern cotillion, I think that would be your wise choice.
Okay, let's go to Ohio Governor John Kasich.
He's the only one I like.
Why?
You know, he sets politics aside. He was one of the first Republican, maybe the first Republican governor to expand his state to Medicaid. He's taken good financial leadership, fiscal responsibility for his state. His state is doing well. I mean, out of all of the candidates, I mean, the most, from a Democratic point of view, I'm most scared of him and George Bush.
Really?
Jeb Bush.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think that he's the one that has game. He's the one that has proven and demonstrated that he will set politics aside to do what's best for our country, and has already proven that he's willing to take everyone's better ideas and make his state better. And I think out of all of this, out of this three-ring circus, I'd like to see him be the ringleader for the Republicans.
All right, quite the endorsement for the Ohio governor from Beth Cope. Only got a couple of, only got 1 minute, about a half a minute remaining. Only got time for two more. Ted Cruz.
Oh gosh, Ted Cruz. I wish he would just cruise away.
Okay, Huckabee.
That was sort of lame, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ted Cruz. He's just dangerous, and I think that we have to stop pandering to the worst common denominators for votes. This in a day where science is such a key part of our economy, we just can't afford those kinds of discussions to be looked upon seriously anymore.
All right, that's going to be the final word. Beth Cope, senior Democratic strategist, says she fears Ohio Governor John Kasich the most. That's food for thought. Go to politicsandmores.com.